So, hey again, here we are, and we are so ready for Dark Souls 2 Reverse Boss Order by Pseudo. Pseudo, I have a question for you before we pop off, and I know Stennis is here as your co-commentator. Pseudo, what got you into running Dark Souls 2, and particularly the Reverse Boss Order?
Um, Dark Souls 2 in general, I just enjoyed the playthrough a lot, casually, and then just made it continually more difficult until I got into speedrunning. So challenge runs
And then you were
initially.
like, this is too easy for me now, I gotta do it reversed.
Reverse boss order, I don't know, I just think it's a really funny category. I don't, this isn't my main category. I think it's a
Yeah.
really good showcase, though, of areas of the game you wouldn't normally see. So I think it's good for marathons, very interesting, but very odd category to run, and so I just kind of learnt it for a bit of fun, really.
Yeah. Definitely, and super excited to see what you got up your sleeve to show us for this run. And yeah, go ahead and take it away.
Okay, gonna start in three, two, one, go.
Right, good luck, Pseudo.
Thank you, Stennis. Stennis will be here to help commentate whilst I'm busy counting, because there's a lot of counting in this category.
There's a lot of jumps that we have to count during
Not for
this
the
category.
viewers.
So it's good to have a second person to
Yeah.
talk instead of talking and counting at the same time. That's the hardest part about streaming this.
But yeah, it's yeah. Do you want to explain a little bit about?
Yeah, I can
about
say
it?
reverse boss order is a route that's pretty similar in concept to how we do all bosses no DLC.
Except we obviously do the bosses in reverse order, which adds a lot of skips. But since we will be doing the same source of damage, which is hexes, we also in this category start as sorcerer with healing wares. Accidental L1 there.
I'm running on old patch, which means I need to do parry walking, which means I need to parry. But as I said, I mainly run current patch, and on current patch I have the LT button mapped to auto run. So if you ever see me just punch the air like that, it's because I'm mixing up patches and control schemes by accident. So
Yeah, especially with the old catering skip not really being a thing anymore. I think most current patch runners just never touch the parry button anymore, or bind it to something else.
yeah.
But in old patch, you need to parry a lot. And here is the first major glitch, which saves a lot of time in the old patch categories, which is called binding boosting. It is pretty simple to do. You just look through the binos, roll and attack at the same time, and if you release the binos at the right time, you get about a 3-second time speed boost. So you have to repeat it a lot, but it makes you go way faster.
Yeah, and you don't drain any stamina whilst you're running at hyperspeed.
Yeah.
So you can always just keep chaining this together. It's nice.
So we only really get like the minimum stamina we need to get a few hits and have a bit left for a dodge, because stamina is not really something that makes running around any faster. And here Pseudo will be going for the other major glitch in this category that basically will make every skip we do for reverse boss order work. It is called parry walking, and before we can get into the state, we need to parry the enemy and cancel our pose at the right time. It's very finicky though. It's a very small frame window to get it.
This one's
it's
the
also
hardest, dude.
dependent on yeah, it's also dependent on how far away you are, how the ground is, the enemy itself, a lot of variables. But he got it there. Very nice. So
Whoops.
yeah. So your height now is locked to that of the enemy, but jumping will change your height relative. So
Nice check.
unfortunately, Pseudo jumped a bit
This is
too far away from
not a
the
difficult
cord.
part of the run. Don't worry.
No.
Okay, third time's a charm. There we go. Have to get on top of this.
Nailed it.
Yeah. Kind of.
Yeah, so jumping on top of this pillar will increase his height a little bit, making so we can just barely get over this wall on the side, which is not solid all the way to the top. And using the same concept, Pseudo will get himself stuck underneath the staircase here. So he's touching both the floor and the staircase above him. which means he is stuck so that his jumps are cancelled as soon as you start them. And the height is basically stored on his character, so you can just increase his height by as many times as he jumps.
Yeah, so we gained extra height there to hit the load trigger for the next zone. So I can come in here and load the next zone, unloading the previous zone, which despawns the enemy that I was parry warps, and therefore gets me back into normal mode. This pickup is just a roll of the dice. I hope it goes well, but
Yeah.
there's not a lot I can do if it doesn't. I'll just run around and pray.
Yeah, so there's a lot of enemies walking around in this forest, and if they just happen to feel like attacking you, they're just to your right. Then yeah, they can interrupt you at the chest, they can backstab you, which will instantly kill you, and
Okay, nice.
not very fun.
It just successfully getting that ring without dying is good. I mean, I lost a few seconds, but that's fine.
So the first ring you got there is to increase cast speed, since we'll use hexes for every boss in the game. And the second there is the Chloranthy ring, which normally isn't that important, since we don't really require the stamina to regain as fast in Old Patch, but since we were doing a lot of jumps on some skips, it actually speeds up the time for those.
And if you're doing a lot of casts like at Vendrick and stuff, it's just nice to have.
Do you have time for a donation?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, awesome. So we've got Vengarl's Left Foot donating $10 saying, I'm only here for the super loud mirror night.
Nice. Yeah, I look forward to it. Try and get some action on Mirror Night. So there's this category is a little bit weird in that half of the category is without killing a boss. So you're not going to see me kill anything for like 50 minutes, I think.
Yeah, close to it.
Am I going the right way here? I am, right?
Yep.
I was meant to get that shield. I actually don't
do shield
really
was-
need this. Yeah.
No, it's only really used for a few parries in this, but one of those is one of the most annoying things to do without shield. So.
Yeah. Can I actually get down here?
I don't know if he... Okay, just walk back. Good. Yeah, we'll be picking up another shield pretty soon, but having this for the next couple parry walks is still nice to have. Besides, the enemy AI here is kind of wonky when they try to attack you, so even if you pick up the shield, it's not usually that much slower.
Can I say another donation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got Darave with a $20 donation saying, thanks everyone for donating towards this awesome marathon. Have fun, everyone. Franker Z. Can we get some
What was-
Franker Z in the chat? Oh, sorry.
Alright, I was gonna say, so you lost a bit of height on the first jump, so I think you would probably... Okay, too late, sorry.
Oh, right.
You might
yeah.
be able to squeeze over, but...
I thought it might have been alright. Okay, let's
Yeah.
try running into this
you can try to
invisible
squeeze
wall
over,
that I
but
can't
it's
see.
gonna be a bit slower.
Just a quick reminder also to everyone who's watching.
Easy.
Okay, good.
If you're planning to donate, make sure that you put your donation towards an incentive. We've got a Bloodborne incentive coming up, and it's nearly there. We are at $727 towards a $1,500 goal, so definitely make that happen. If you're donating, allocate your donation towards something. Thank you.
Alright, so I see some questions in chat also about how we determine the rules for the reverse boss order. As an average beverage said in chat, the main idea we go for is that we have 3 bosses basically we have to do to complete the game. Those are Giant Lord, Throne Duo, and Nashandra. Because Nashandra does not spawn until the other 2 are dead. So besides doing those in the as close to reverse order as you can, we do every other boss in the reverse order of how they appear in the bonfire menu. So every boss has a bonfire that you can aesthetic to respawn the boss. And we basically do the boss related to that bonfire in order from the last to the first.
Play that a bit safer. Because we're essentially in an endgame area here already. The enemies hit pretty hard, and I have no HP, so... And that attack is very fast hitting, so... Just went away to heal, just to be sure.
Yeah, so this little power work he's doing here allows us to just go straight around the Wyvern boss fights without fighting him early. And we need to get to the Ancient Dragon to be able to access the old giant memories. For that we need the Ashen Mist Heart. And we will do a lot of preparation still before we start killing bosses, mainly because we want to have some resources to do a lot of damage. But this step is important just for getting souls and getting access to the first bosses we'll do later. Now's a big elevator, so if you have some donations, Meral, now's a good time.
Yes, we do. I will. I lost the tab. Okay, there it is. There it is. Pseudo, first of all, I'm gonna say you're quite popular, so I'm gonna read you a donation. So Batista 2512 donates $50, saying, "Let's go, Pseudo." Thank you so much for that generous donation, and I will actually let you know what $50 can do in Save the Children's programs. So $50 can pay for the attendance of an entire village school in a country like Uganda, including the cost of teacher training and salary, supplies, and curriculum. So thank you for basically sending a whole village to school. That's pretty cool.
It wouldn't be RBI without this stuff.
We're probably going to see that in 90% in the relay race as well.
I think every time this race has been run, someone has died. It's not difficult, but it's kind of like easy to mess up.
It's not very difficult, but you have to jump really early with the Binder Boost strats. Some sort of unintuitively early. Especially not to hit the wall or anything else that would give you a baby jump.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All patch doesn't have all patch doesn't have the baby jump mod, but even the baby jump mod doesn't stop the situations where you get a baby jump for hitting an item on the way. So you have to be pretty careful here not to touch anything on the way over. We got there, very nice. So yeah, this is a soul I was talking about. Harry has a few 20 souls that give you 20,000 souls every time you use them. You cannot dupe items with a yes/no menu, but the regular souls and some items like human effigies, you can just drop on the ground and then reuse on this patch, which we'll abuse quite a bit as we go through parts of the game.
Yeah. So this is one of the benefits of reverse boss order, is that because you essentially rush the end of the game, you kind of get the nice end of game items. Like 20,000 souls, which you obviously wouldn't get in the training areas.
Yeah.
And the downside is that all the enemies are much stronger than you.
Yeah. So all bosses in the DLC also does a lot of dupes in the same way, but in that route we only get a 5,000 soul because it would waste a lot of time to skip around the Guardian Dragon early and then come back later.
Yeah, like deliberately skipping bosses when you can kill them in 4 hits is...
Yeah,
it's usually not worth. But in this route, since we're forced to skip them, might as well pick up some juicy things while we're here.
Yeah, there are some skips in this category that are way slower than killing the boss.
Yeah.
But it's done for consistency's sake. Because reverse means reverse.
But yeah, and in a lot of situations in this run, the skips are considerably harder than just killing the boss, but that's what makes it fun.
It's also very fun for those of us who are interested in also looking for skips and glitches, because you have to think really outside the box in a lot of situations for some of the stuff we found for this category.
Yeah.
So here, as mentioned, Pseudo will drop the soul on the ground while you're using it, meaning he can pick it back up and use it as many times as required. If you're too slow doing this though, you'll either not drop any item or it will drop an empty item on the ground that you cannot pick up.
Yeah.
So you do need to have some muscle memory to pull it off consistently.
Thankfully, compared to Alibaba's route that he did yesterday, In this, we actually get a spare 20k soul, so if I do mess up, I've got a second chance to recover. It's just, I mean, I'd rather not mess up, but
Yeah.
it's not as bad. In some routes, if you miss the dupe, it's essentially a reset. In this one, we're kind of okay. It's really bad at remembering shields.
Now is also a good time, I think.
I do have. I don't know if you guys were here for this, but Lawyer Bodo has donated $10 saying extreme uwoodly, swoogudly, uwu, wait, swaugu, I can't pronounce this. Basically, it's extremely swaggy uwu, but
Okay,
with
nice.
a twist. Thank you so much, Lawyer Bodo, for the $10 donation. Appreciate it so much.
Alright, so it's just buying some items here. Most of them are just for convenience, honestly, but the bombs, it will need to explode the wall, and also the blacksmith's key to unlock in Majula. We'll be upgrading a chime to get extra damage. This is basically what it's done in every category, I think, except any % old patch of blowing up that wall. It's conveniently still there today in current patch and in Scholar.
Why do I use binoculars every once in a while? It's you need the binoculars to get this fast speed boost. I'm basically reperforming a glitch every 2 or 3 seconds.
Alright, so since we're here in the Forest of Fallen Giants, Sudo will just be picking up one of the Giant Souls here early on. We need to have 5 Giant Souls in order to increase the damage taken when we fight Vendrick later. Every soul you don't have will basically double Vendrick's defense, up to a total of 32 times the defense he should have.
And it's worth mentioning, this is also a late game area. We needed to get the Ashley Mist Heart to get here, so that's why there's some juicy items as well.
Yeah, normally to get to this area it would have to be like through 80% of the game, if not more, depending on how far off the beaten path you went to begin with. Yeah, so it's also just putting one of the souls in the item box as a safety, since you cannot see the souls when you have them stacked 2 at a time.
And also moving the giant soul out the way, so I only have to do 3rd slot dupes, which is a bit easier than 4th slot. Less likely to mess it up.
We also managed to confirm very recently that we don't actually need all the giant souls in the inventory for Rendrick's damage to be increased, since I once forgot to put it back and did the same damage.
This guy's kind of awkward to parry if you don't get the first try.
Yeah, this dude is very awkward to parry. It does a lot of weird attacks as well. He likes to do rolling attacks for some reason.
Yeah. And then this skip is the kind of the beginning of what RBO skips look like.
Yeah. So the goal of this is just to skip the Dragon Rider, and it actually took us quite a while to figure this one out because it relies on a concept we didn't really know of at the time, and that is that bonfires actually load early, but we cannot see them. So Pseudo went over an area here to spawn the items, which also spawns the bonfire right above Dragon Rider, right at the end here. But we needed to find it completely blind over the water here because none of the area is loaded. But luckily, Dragon Rider's arena has like a chandelier in the top, so we see that little ring of lights, and know that it's close to the bonfire.
Yeah, this one's got at least some visual cue. Well, so we knew the items loaded. We just didn't realize that the bonfire invisibly also loads. As you know, why would you realize that?
Yeah, and also Pseudo chose to warp back there because a side effect here is by the area not being loaded is that there's actually no collision on the ground. So if you sit at the bonfire, you'll just fall down into the ocean.
Yeah, and then you die. So there's quite a lot going on in this route, but the main idea is I'm kind of like skipping as many bosses and collecting useful items as I can. So here I had to skip Dragon Rider at some point in the run. I might as well do it early so that I can get this chime. It's the kind of idea.
Yeah, so if we don't either talk to Alicia or kill her, we don't have a normal way of going to Huntsman's Copse. There is a skip we can do, but doing Dragon Rider skip early means we can just not have to do an extra skip, which saves a bit of time. Yeah, Pseudo's already basically getting the stats we'll have for quite a long stretch of the run.
Yeah, you get most of
we
your
start
stats
doing
already,
bosses.
and then you only do one more level up.
Yeah.
Before you do really anything. You'll see me kind of
So,
continually duping this soul in order to afford more things.
basically, the only reason we level up early at all is because the Great Resonance Soul, very strong hex we'll be using for the entirety of the run, has pretty high requirements. 26 intelligence, no, 26 fate, sorry. And don't remember quite how much intelligence, but we get 20 just to have a good amount of damage to one-shot a lot of the enemies.
13, I believe.
I
Oh
think
no,
13
I
is the
messed up the
requirement.
dupe.
You can pick up the other on the bonfire right next to
Yep, I think I will.
Falcon.
I didn't actually need to dupe anywhere though for a while though.
No, you don't really.
That was the last kind of one for a little bit.
I think I used like one on Cloan, but that's like about it for.
Oh, you actually dupe there, interesting.
Yeah, I think so.
Dark Orb and GOS and Talk.
Together. To
Should probably have taken that bonfire. Oopsie. You don't
Ah,
need
it's
it,
not a
but
big deal. You lose 20k, but you can make that back later. Probably better just to take it from the item box when you warp out from Cloan.
I was more worried about dying to this skip. This happened in my practice run 2 days ago.
Yeah, this skip is kind of it's close to being a meme skip because Pseudo already technically lost time here. It only
Yeah.
saves like 4 or 5 seconds if you get it first right.
But you don't have to deal with the enemies, right? So
Yeah, you don't have to deal with the
just doing this
thieves and
before I forget.
bows and stuff.
But yeah, as you see, there's not much let up here. It's you do a skip, you have 5 seconds of downtime, you do another skip, and it just goes on for a long time.
Did you, by the way, talk to Falcon and get the hood? Because I didn't notice.
I did get it, but I'm not wearing it because I forgot.
Yeah, okay, good. All right, so this is also one of the, I would say, more recent skips added to RBO, but it's probably like a couple years ago now, which was from a new concept as well at the time, which is ladder warping, where we realized that if you're running into a ladder and eventually grab it, since your character position is sort of split into two, one is the character position you see, and the other one can interact with items, etc., and just keeps going in the direction you're running. When you touch a ladder, you'll just snap to that position and go through any collision in between. So even though we normally can't exit that wall because it's completely solid, with the ladder we can. So it's just doing a lineup here because we'll be entering the path on the other side of the bridge behind Skeleton Lords.
This seems decent. I shouldn't have said
good,
anything.
No.
That's actually the first time I've died to that since relearning this route. I did know about it, but
Yeah. So it's just a tiny bit too far to the right and a tiny bit too low. So it's a very poor combination.
I'm really surprised that didn't work actually. That seemed.
Can I read a donation?
Yeah, go ahead. Pseudo will just be repeating the same thing. So.
All right, so we have a very beautiful, nice donation from Sir John Snow, donating $50, saying, had to save my donation for my favorite category. This marathon is one of my most enjoyed times of the year, so thank you everyone for all of your hard work putting it together and making this year the best yet. Thank you so much, Sir John Snow. That is so incredibly generous of you, and the comment is also very touching and nice.
Yeah, I'll
Thank
try
you.
and provide some good RBO content for you.
Yeah, I was gonna say thank you, Pseudo, for coming on and running his favorite category.
Do my best.
And also want to say a big thank you for the raid, Kata. That was amazing. And thank you for supporting Speedstill's charity marathon. If you have any other donations, I'll be reading them out for you. And one last thing, Pseudo and Stanis. If we hit 3,500 within like the next next like 10 minutes, would you guys be down to do the rest of the run in like some accent?
The rest of the run.
Or like 10 minutes?
I'm really bad at accents, but yeah, 10 minutes, sure. Why not?
10 minutes? All right.
You'd have to...
Which...
I can't do any, so they're all going to be as bad as each other. Wait, let me just
what about an English accent? Like super English, posh,
like
posh
proper
accent.
English.
Yeah, English, yeah.
If you give me like a sentence to get me in the mindset, and then...
Okay, so like, hello, my name is Claire, and I just absolutely love to move my body, yeah? I don't know.
I'm gonna sound like really bad, but I need this. I can try for that.
But don't do it yet. We have to reach. We gotta reach the goal. So if we reach it within the next 10 minutes, and that's $3,500. That's quite a lot. So I don't know if the chat can do it, but if you do it, Pseudo and Stennis, did you confirm?
Yeah. We'll go for it.
They will do 10 minutes of commentary in a very beautiful posh English accent. Make it happen, chat. And don't forget to put your donations towards the Bloodborne incentive.
I'll be a little bit quiet for the next 4 minutes of jumping into a wall whilst I'm counting in, but Stennis can explain what is going on.
Yeah. So this is the extreme version of what we've been talking about before, with when you get stuck beneath a roof, which in this case is a very slightly sloped wall, and the floor. Every jump he does in this position will increase his height by a fixed amount, but we have to skip from all the way down here up until Old Iron Keep, which takes 150 jumps to do. So Pseudo will be jumping for a while into this wall. I think at least what I go for is like 150 out, something like that. But yeah, it does take a while, and you have to sort of keep looking at your characters to make sure they're not falling at any point, because you will lose height from your total then. But yeah, he's gonna be here for a little while, so any other donations, make sure to get him in now. Yeah,
so like we've got 15 minutes to hit that 3,500. If you want them to do the rest, oh no, not the rest, sorry. For them to do 10 minutes of English accent, lovely English accent commentary, and yeah, make sure to get your donations in. I will also donate, but I can't bring us to 3,500 alone. I don't know if I chose like a too high goal, but I hope we can get there. I believe in the community. Let's go.
It's for the kids.
Yeah, it's for the kids, guys.
Stuck.
Yeah, so this is kind of unfortunate. Sometimes you sort of exit the stuck state you need to be in. You can't do jumps unless the character is shaking like this. Exactly why, I don't really know, but it's the same case for all the skips like this in the run.
We have a $10 donation. We're getting there. We're getting
Oh,
closer. It's from Jeff, donating $10, saying petition for pseudo to put on a Scouse accent. I'm not entirely sure what a Scouse accent is. I think it's like around the UK's Liverpool.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
You're not wrong.
And we're at 3,376. So a little bit more than $100, and we will get there. We can do it together, chat. Let's make it happen.
Right, so I'm just gonna give Pseudo a big piece of mind here so he doesn't forget his count. That is the worst part about this, is being too low, but it is scary to adjust your height at the end as well. But he should be coming up on 150 pretty soon. Counting loud, yeah. But it does, at least I know for myself, it makes it a bit easier to count when you hear the jumps rather than just relying on seeing the character bob up and down. But I see Suda has 150 now, so he'll try to exit the cave and should shoot up into the sky.
Pray that we don't hit the magic pixel.
Yeah, you can load in the area on the way out here and just fall down, which is very unfortunate when you've been jumping into the wall for so long. But he got up there.
Okay, so that's part 1 of the skip done. Ooh, I'm only
Yeah,
just
and you
high
are
enough, actually.
indeed high enough. You gotta do one jump at least.
I thought it would be higher than this. I put in like 5. Oh no, we're okay. I put in quite a few spare there because you don't want to do like 145 and then be too low and have to do another 150. Okay, so this part's a little bit scary as well.
Yeah, so here we want to align our height basically so the top of this part of the window touches our hip. But it's actually fairly precise. This is a bit too low by my taste. Too high, I mean, by my taste. You should go for that, yeah. Still slightly high, but it's too much of a risk to adjust.
Yeah, yeah, I don't want to go for any more. I also play with no music, so this whole area is like super quiet. It's quite eerie. And
yeah,
then
so
we need to...
basically what we have to do here is we have to enter the elevator room at the top from the back, but the entire thing is invisible. So we have to find the corridor, slip into it, and then get into the room without seeing it. Luckily, it aligns pretty nicely with the doorways at the bottom. I don't think you're quite in. Oh.
Oh, no, I think I'm actually too far right here. Yeah. So there's, because the kind of area is like half loaded, you've got to
still too far right, I think. That looks better.
Do you reckon? Should we go for it?
Yeah, I think you're in the corner. Yeah, you're in.
Alright.
Alright.
Easy.
Yeah, so the scary part about that as well is we have to be a little bit too high to begin with. And when we think we're inside the room, we have to jump onto the floor. If the floor is not there, we have to start all the way over again.
Yeah.
That's who got it.
I lost a couple of minutes there on my splits, but as long as you get it. Unfortunately, we have another very scary skip immediately afterwards. There's just no break here. This one's probably almost in some way more scary.
Yeah. So while Mythoskip is sort of the pinnacle of the amount of jumps you have to do, this one is less consistent. So even though it's only like a third of the jumps, almost like a bit under half of the jumps, getting the jumps themselves is way harder. So this is a slight variation of how we used to do them in the past, found pretty recently. That's a bit more consistent. It's still not great though, but any bit of consistency you can squeeze out of this skip, we will take it gladly.
Yeah, it's not a very marathon-friendly skip, this one. I'm just trying to get my initial position as good as possible before I start jumping into a wall again for 5 minutes.
I don't want to make you guys nervous, but we're getting very close.
Oh.
Within the time limit.
Okay.
So ready your
Pulling
minds
all
for
this
that
off, yeah.
posh English accent coming up. Maybe. I mean, if we hit it, we're still not there.
So yeah, Pseudo will be keep trying to get his jumps here. His actual position is like a bit above the ground, quite far away from these enemies, so the enemies don't really know what to do. So they'll just run around. There's a small chance they can attack randomly, and if you get hit, it's actually quite bad because you can no longer jump. But Pseudo should be okay here as long as he doesn't lose height on the jumps. Just so you guys are aware, this is generally like the scariest part of the entire run for us.
Okay, here goes.
Right, let's pray. We're not out of the woods yet because now comes the praying that we have enough height and manage to load what we do want and not load areas that we don't want and break the pyro walk.
But the jumps are definitely a hard part of this skip. There are other hard parts, but I'm just as scared of the jumps as I am of
I'm scared just watching this.
trying to find a bonfire somewhere over there in the mountains. My heights? It seems okay.
Well, we have to still run over a part of Shaded Woods Red, so we're going back into the woods.
Let's go to the side to avoid this roof. Its height seems
this
very
height
good
is
though.
not too bad. Yeah, I think shouldn't adjust it at all.
Yep.
Kinda scared you might be able to touch something though, but that's the item we're looking for. So that item is pretty close to the bonfire in Dorsal Paris,
Over there.
which is behind the boss fight.
This is very hard to, if you haven't done this run, you're probably wondering why I'm running in various directions in the air, but oh, well that was pretty smooth, to be honest. Nice. And if you rest at this bonfire, you crash the game. So
Yeah.
we load
There's
it
a
via
small
load
chance you
screen.
don't crash the game, but you.
Yeah, I
almost
actually had it in practice recently. I just loaded straight in. That's great. But yeah, going back there is much safer.
By the looks of it, we've reached our goal.
Uh,
You're gonna have to
yes,
give me some
we have.
inspiration on the Porsche accent, Pseudo, because.
Yeah, you guys, you can do an Irish one if you want to as well. Okay, so I'm gonna start
I mean, Irish,
by reading some of these. Okay, I'm not gonna do Irish, sorry. We've got a donation of $10 from not me, and it says extremely swaggy, ooh woo. And then we've got Wenger's big coat with $50 saying for the children. And Batista 2512 with another $50 for the kids. Very nice, Batista. Very neat. Do you have a comment, Pseudo?
Thank you, sir, Batusta. I don't know why my voice is lower. Much appreciated, my friend.
Yes. Sound eerily like the voice on the airport when you're waiting for your plane.
A security officer?
Yeah, no, like.
Why are they speaking English accent at the airport? They're like, where are you
It's always like
traveling
a
to?
British accent when you're being read into the airplane, especially in Norwegian airports.
We've got the Marksman with a $50 donation saying, do it. $50. Thank you so much for the $50 donation. Jolly good. We've got.
If you look out on the right, you'll see we're soaring at 37,000 feet. Beautiful blue skies.
Far too well in it.
Airport. Okay. I see where your inspiration is coming from. Flying. We've got another donation from Anya Membe of $14 saying chat is cute in it. Ayaya.
Are we allowed
Ayaya,
to do
chat.
like British chav accents?
Oh, of course you are.
go
You
for
can
it,
do whatever you want.
Ah, it's great, isn't it, mate? Love it.
Yeah.
What about like Cockney?
Go
I
on.
can't do Cockney either. Hey, geezer.
I think that you guys should add these chav sentences to your regular commentary. So I was jumping here, yeah?
Yeah. Jumping here, yeah, and it's just waiting for the elephants to approach. Was popping some souls, yeah.
These elephants
a
are
lot of
one
sauce,
cheeky
innit?
bugger right here.
Yeah. 20,000 souls per soul.
A huge thank you to everybody who made us reach $3,550 for the English accents for 10 minutes.
Get some proper good value out of this soul here.
Yeah. Popping it like 10 more times, maybe.
Yeah, I reckon 10 more, innit?
Yeah. So, not much interesting going about. In a few enemies, opens a few doors. Pretty simple going in it.
Is
Let's
this like the
say-
script?
Sorry, no, go on.
No, you go on. You go on. Go on.
I must say, this is quite relaxing whilst focusing so hard on accents. I don't need to think
Yeah.
about the run. Just calmly running through Drang Lake.
Oh. On a scale from 1 to 10, how much harder is it when you have to focus on your accent?
Probably a 12.
I'd say a 7. Solid 7. 6 or 7, maybe. Perhaps.
We do have a donation from Hosea Yasin. Sorry if I am butchering that. It's a $5 donation, and it says pseudo stands represent.
I think...
Thank you.
Whoa. Shazin, I think, was the name I think you will find there, miss.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. This split... I'm in an accent. This split's a bit shit, isn't it? Getting hit by a lot of
Proper terrible, innit?
people.
Stennis, can you read the chat message that people are posting in an English accent?
Okay. LMAO, you call yourself a Speedsoft fan? I'm fucking loaded on challenge points, bro. I'll holler every message because I'm just that jacked. Try talking in chat again when you're a real fan. How's that?
That's pretty good, mate.
I'm pretty good.
I can only do like the angry British accent.
You sound a little bit like what's his name? Nems.
Maybe a source of inspiration.
Properly looking forward to when these 10 minutes are up.
Yeah. Might
Oh,
be already.
actually, I think I'm dead here.
We'll go a bit further in. Go back a bit first. First that.
It's like another 5 minutes. I'll let you guys know when it's up.
5 minutes.
Crikey, mate.
Alright, so
Could be real stuck
quite
here.
stuck here, innit?
Switching to Aussie, apparently.
Oh no.
This... Ooh. Yeah.
It should be. Oh no.
I think missiles might be down the drain here.
They should be above, but I'm not entirely sure.
That's rather peculiar, that skip. That seemed like
Peculiar.
that seemed like a rather good effort.
Quite peculiar. Yeah, so we have another peculiar thing happening right now. We've got, normally I would say a Haiti, but because of the English accent, I'm going to say a Hardy, has donated $10 saying, Oi, bruv. Thank you so much, Ahadi, for that generous donation. We very much appreciate it, your peculiar donation.
Thanks, bruv.
Always appreciate some donations from the lads. Right, so second shot here.
I could be proper broke here.
Yeah,
Still no.
I haven't seen your souls yet. Oh no. Yeah, so
So there's
Can
this
be a
skip,
bit of a
there's this
problem there.
wall, and you gotta get yourself in the corner, but you gotta get out the corner in the right angle. You don't get out in the right angle, you're gonna get stuck.
yeah, so you have a little bit of leeway right at the end, but if you go too far, you just get stuck and you have to go start over. Still posting the same copy pasta, ain't it?
It's only about 1 minute left, so if you want them to say something else, then you better post another copy pasta. Here's your chance, chat.
Now's your chance.
Alright, we got
Alright,
it.
and you got it.
Ogres.
You call yourself a Speed Sauce fan?
Alright, and now is for the weapon of choice for the rest of the run. Is Kathla's Chime. It is quite strong with hexes, but it cannot cost anything else. Big problem with the door, they mate.
This game's not very good, is it?
All right, and that's 10 minutes over for the English accent. Clap, clap, you guys were such champs.
Sorry,
Thank
I'm
you
really
so much.
I'm really bad at accents. I was unprepared for my
The
viewers,
problem
I'm
for
sorry.
me mostly is that I had, like, when I first learned English, I had more of a British accent, but I, like, iteratively washed it away, and it's so much harder to go back to it after.
But you did really good, especially when you did like the Nems
When I have something to
impersonation.
read, it's easier, but when you're just trying, because I'm usually just talking and, like, knowing what to say along the way, but it's way harder to think in a different accent and the next word you're going to say.
Yeah.
It was good though, and you guys raised a lot of money by doing that. So thank you so much for being down.
Thank you guys for all the donations.
yeah.
Our humiliation is much less severe than the money. Yeah, how much help the money will get for the kids. So
Exactly,
appreciate
yeah.
all the donations. So yeah, so this what Pseudo been doing here was another ladder warp, just like the skip used to get past the skeleton lords. But this time he will run around the arena for Mirror Knights. Unfortunately, again, it's invisible, And he has to get into a very specific spot right at the corner of the arena where we can jump inside. There's another spot that's very similar to this, but it will not load you in and you'll instead just fall down and die and have to start over.
So whilst spending 100% of my brain power trying to speak in English, I managed to lose 100k souls and fail a skip. I just lost another. Oh, that's actually quite bad. So we might have to stand around duping souls.
You do still have the backup soul, right?
No,
in the
that is the
inventory, so you can... Oh.
I'll grab the 20k in
Well,
Dutch.
Yeah.
The backup that you never really want to get, but it's okay. It'll be like 10 seconds of standing still.
It is not.
Duping a soul.
There's one skip we kind of need the vigor for. Oh, well, if you fail it a little bit, the drop from Misa to Jabba, but otherwise you can get away with having a bit less vigor.
I actually, are you on about the Pursuer skip, Senus?
No, I mean the drop down.
Oh,
after
the...
we go Misa. If you don't hit that quite right, you take a lot of fall damage.
Ah, yeah, okay. But that's fine. We can adjust for that. I can just do the...
Yeah.
Like, if I'm low on souls.
You can just do the warp back, yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking about the Saldura one, actually.
Yeah.
This game.
There's an alternative way you can do it. Just going
Yeah.
behind the boss fight. Takes a bit longer, but basically what we're saying is we can adjust for we can adjust for the lost souls. Might
I mean,
take some quick thinking, but
that's fine. We'll just do our best. No worries. But it was the skip was a bit unfortunate. I thought the first version was back in Zhangleg. I thought it was actually quite good. But you can just get stuck, and you have no idea where your character position is. You can get stuck inside walls, behind walls, in front of walls, and if you don't get out at the right time, it's like most skips you can recover from, but that one at Dragon Riders, if it goes wrong, you're probably just doing it again.
yeah, it's
a bit
just one of
unfortunate.
those skips that also doesn't have like a lineup you go for or anything. It's very much just based on feel.
Yeah.
So you just repeat it until you feel confident at it, and then hopefully you should get it down. But sometimes if you just miss a little bit, then you get stuck and you're out of your comfort zone.
Okay, so I think I'm meant to have like 260k souls. Might be a bit less.
Yeah, I don't know the exact count, but guess we'll see when you get the levels.
I'm not doing a very good job here. Eh? So this is what happens if you mess up the dupe there. You get your inventory bag is full. You're basically dropping an empty item, and the game doesn't know what to do when you try and pick it up. So I'm gonna grab. You'll see I haven't killed any bosses yet in this run. So I don't have any like boss souls to pop.
We're
Should we
getting
make-
quite close to the first boss now.
Yeah, we're making good progress here. Just collecting more things. Should I use? I didn't really want to plan on picking this soul up, but you know what can you do?
Oh
Let's just
wow,
kill
I
these.
see quite a bit of doubt in chat here. People don't have faith in Pseudo. Going 51 minutes not kill a single boss. What is he doing? How could this be the guy that almost did a clean sweep of the entire leaderboards?
Yeah, but it's if anyone's really bored, you can learn this category, and it's very curious. You have to learn a lot of weird skips, but
Yeah,
I think it's
I
quite
think,
quite a funny showcase.
Is one of those that holds most people back from maybe learning this is that yeah, parry walks are pretty. It's sort of a long process to get them down to a level that you're not going to be annoyed at yourself for failing them all the time.
Yeah.
Because they are very precise to do, and you need to do a lot of them. But I find this run pretty entertaining, minus maybe Nachika Mythoskip being the main culprits here. But the rest is pretty fun to do, and as I said before, also pretty cool skips with a lot of intricacies, and really shows you what is possible in the game.
I just did that there in case I messed up a dupe, because there's another 10k somewhere near that bonfire. So if I got it wrong, I could grab that as another backup, as a fourth backup. You learn a lot of backups when you're doing this route. But it looks like I'd probably be okay on souls now.
Yeah, I think you should be fine. Like a couple fewer levels, but that's fine. So the reason Pseudo's back here is because we'll be killing a few of the lizards that we didn't do initially because we didn't have much damage going through here the first time. But we don't have access to buy chunks or large shards yet because we haven't killed any bosses. So,
yeah,
we'll
so
have to pick them up
the main
from the
merchants will
environment.
get them after killing like Bellstaff, for example. It's very unfortunate.
Yeah, and you really
So,
have to
geez,
make sure you
bit of a
don't
pain.
die while... the worst thing that can happen here is to die while there's a chunk or a large shard on the ground after you kill a lizard, because it will despawn and never come back. Luckily that didn't happen.
I guess now is not a bad time for donations then, since I'm just running to a new area now. If you have any.
I don't have any currently. I guess everyone splurged on that English accent.
No worries.
But I will say that if you do end up donating, please allocate your donation towards one of our many incentives that we have. And the next one that's going to be fulfilled is the Bloodborne one. We are currently $787 in, and the goal is 1,500. So make sure we hit that. It would basically mean that we're making the Ludwig fight much harder for the runners and forcing them to do it in what would basically be like a soul level 1 equivalency. And another thing I want to mention is don't forget to check out our merch. We have a wonderful design made exclusively for Speed Souls Charity Marathon by John Devlin. And it's an art piece of Priscilla. You can get mouse pads, crew shirts, t-shirts, mugs, although the mug option seems to be not working at the moment, but they're working on it, so hopefully in the future if you're looking to get a mug. And yeah, just overall, thank you all for being here, and thank you for donating and helping us help save the children who work in 120 different countries, making sure that children are educated, that they have access to healthcare and are protected from harm. So thank you so much, and back to you, Pseudo.
Thank you. Yep, so we're just, this is the last running, well, like, I should say preparation segment for the boss. Yeah, we're 55 minutes in, so it looks about right. And this is the final split. What we're doing here is, we're just getting, there's an extra 20% damage from hexes you can get, I think. It was explained in Alibaba's yesterday. But the idea is it damages you, but it gives you extra 20% increased damage. So we're just working towards that. You need to find this dude in 3 different locations, and thankfully, since I've kind of excuse me whilst I run into invisible enemies, since I've already essentially cleared the game now, even though I haven't killed a boss. I'm gonna just get the last area to see him the second time, and then the third time is next to the Donjiro fight. This death was.
Yeah, I liked how nonchalantly.
I mean, it was
didn't
just,
skip a beat.
Just some
Like that.
some nonsense death. I don't know. It seems even worse on old patches. This loading area where you just run into things which aren't there.
I know that the super momentum took a while for I think everyone to accept that even existed, but I feel like it's even worse in the old patch sometimes. I sometimes just completely miss the beam jumping down here as well and running off the cliff, because I feel like there's even less consistency in the movement speed once you go off ledges.
Yeah.
Unless you're binder boosting often, you have more consistent speed when you go off. Unfortunately, binder boosting doesn't actually increase your jump distance or anything like that. It just means that you're over like the threshold of speed you need for a full jump in general.
So I'm about to pick up the final spell that I will be using, I promise, once I actually start killing bosses. It's actually a surprisingly scary pickup, so that went quite smoothly. you can get attacked by worms and things. Yeah, and now, since we have a +10 weapon, we can start essentially tearing through the game. So it's definitely a tale of two halves, this run. Skips for 50 minutes, followed by just destroying everything. There are still some skips left, don't worry. But the kind of chunky ones are thankfully out of the way. I have to get these just to access the next area.
Yeah, so question here, does this run include DLC? It does not, because this patch of the game was unfortunately before any of the DLCs were added. Otherwise we couldn't do any of the skips basically that's done in this. They were all patched out pretty early.
Okay, so this is the second encounter and imminently the third encounter, and we start killing things in as reverse an order as possible, as Stan's mentioned earlier.
Pseudo already opened the door for the last one of these, but I didn't talk to him yet because we want to talk to him last, so that the third one you talk to will always open his dungeon, and the one in Dragon Lake is the one we want to use to skip to Dark Lake later on. So we want him to open that for free.
And we get the ring that we want here.
Yeah. And luckily this is where we have to be for the first boss we're doing as well, so it's sort of everything sort of aligns.
Yeah, it works out quite nicely. There is, however, still a lot of skips, because now that we've kind of skipped past all the bosses, what we need to do is skip to the bosses to kill them. Sometimes that will just be running from the bonfire, but a surprisingly large amount of the time it won't. Nice.
Yeah. But the
is a new
majority
one.
of the So this is minus the different variation of Narska skip. This is sort of the newest one. It allows us to. So what we did in the past was we went to Vendrick's Arena, to the back of Vendrick's Arena early, and picked up the ring. But doing that skip takes like a minute and a half or so. And I realized you could probably do a ladder warp here and just run around the path to Throne of Wands, and it happened to work out almost as fast as opening the door normally.
Yeah, so if
doing
there
this
wasn't
takes quite a bit of time.
if there wasn't a really big door that takes 25 seconds to open, obviously the skip wouldn't be as good. And so the kind of investment early on in King's Ring would be maybe more worthwhile. But since we would have to just stand around waiting for this door, you can end up getting on the other side for only plus a few seconds without the ring, and then definitely worthwhile skipping it early. You start to see the damage is quite nice. You can do more damage than this if you need to, but you really don't need to very often.
This is already end game damage for the regular all bosses no DLC run on Old Patch. Basically the exact same build as you get way at the end there.
And now we start taking them off. So that was actually a gold spot. Nice. I remembered to mute my audio.
Yeah, now begins the true boss rush. We'll have a lot of bosses back to back. It is almost a boss per minute at this point.
Yeah, there's a couple that are kind of slightly more scary than others. This one has an associated skip that honestly I'm not too scared of, but it's definitely can go wrong, and when it does, there's not a huge amount you can do about it, and you gotta go and kind of reset the area. So
yeah, so after killing this boss as well, it's one of the few like pretty difficult skips to do that's left. Which is also based around that we found out that although we can't reach the memories from outside without having the Alchemist heart, the memories themselves are actually sort of linked together. So just by being in one of them, if we can get out of bounds, we can actually get to any of the other memories from here. Especially since the Giant Lord one is sort of the one placed highest up in the sky. It makes it pretty easy to go down to any of the others, as long as you can get the parry walk. Unfortunately, that is the hard part here, because there's a lot of fireballs and giants, and You have to pray for someone to survive.
Yeah, this strategy I think you came up with, Stennis, is actually pretty reliable. If you don't miss that shot, which I just missed, so yeah, could be Ripper. Although it looks like things are still alive.
Yeah, so I always do him by locking on, but then you have to run a bit further in.
I got very lucky here.
Yeah, luckily 2 of them survived somehow. Like even the thing is, even just when you're at the top of the staircase, they can suddenly just all of them die in 1 hit before you even reach to them at all. So you do need some luck for this skip to work. Get the parry walk instantly. That's very nice.
This is new little text, Dennis. Fresh out of the
Yeah.
oven right here. You don't have to do that jump, which means that you can always land and spawn in at the item here, and you don't take as much fall damage.
Yeah, I always just do the jump because that's the fastest path to get out.
Yeah. So it's like, so this way you see me take full damage there. I'm kind of in a weird loaded state, and yeah, and this is a different giant memory. And thankfully, if you exit this, you actually exit where you want to, which is after Pursuer. So in the process of doing all this interesting things, we came out the other side of Pursuer, and therefore Pursuer is skipped, and we can do the later bosses, such as kind of the ones in Lost Bastille. So that was pretty clean, I would say.
Yeah, it was actually a very good show.
And now we do Nash. This is the earliest we can do the quote final boss. It's not really true reverse boss order, but it's pretty close. We had to kill Giant Lord before Nash was spawned.
Yeah, fortunately they made it so that Nash does not spawn unless Giant Lord is already dead. Otherwise we probably would have found a way to do this completely in reverse. But yeah,
we've tried really hard, right?
Yeah.
Tried so hard to get Nash to spawn.
I've actually jumped into the arena from the back on Throne Duo. It takes a long while to do. And you have to pray that you don't get enough fall damage to just instantly kill you, which I don't know how to replicate, and I don't think I have a video of it, but it didn't help.
What was the strategy we were thinking of at Skelly's or Chariot or something? Where...
Yeah, so that's a fun. We were thinking really outside the box, me and Lubis, that if we could, so basically in Skeleton Lords, since the boss arena is full of the regular skeletons, you can actually parry walk one of them and go out of the arena while the boss fight is still active. And a funny thing with that is if you go into another boss fight, you instantly get a victory achieved screen and the boss's AI just stops. So for example, Last Giant will just stand there in a running animation and not do anything. And we were hoping that maybe if we could do that glitch in Skeleton Lords, run all the way back to Drang Lake and into Nashandra fight, if we could break Throne Duo and spawn Nashandra early. It takes a long while to run here without using any bonfires, but it didn't work, unfortunately. But yeah, Nashandra also dies really easily with hexes, even though she has dark resistant, but we can just stand at range and easily avoid all the lasers.
Okay, that was the last super scary part. If you accidentally mess that up, you have to wait for 9 minutes, I think, for some unskippable credits. Yeah. So, yeah, really don't want to, if you're
it's a
like,
pretty small window between like warping out after you get the soul, so the kill actually counts, but before you get locked inside the boss arena.
I forgot to attune scraps. No worries. I'll get it on the next one. It would be very nice for this fight, but it's okay. I have enough casts of this.
One thing I can add though that's actually kind of interesting as well with the Skeleton Lord glitch I was talking about is that the AI for Throne Duo still works even though we can't hit him. And if you make Watcher fall off before you start the boss fight and come back later, she won't respawn. So you just have Defender left.
Yeah, it's very curious set of situations.
Yeah, don't really know how to explain that. But yeah, this is also, unfortunately Pseudo doesn't have scraps here. Scraps is really good for damage on larger bosses.
I should have enough casts though, I think. Yeah, definitely have casts.
Easily. But yeah, scraps does give you a lot of damage when it's not flying like it's about to now. But luckily GRS does a lot of damage still, so it's not that like it's a slow fight.
No, we should be fine.
No scrap because Pseudo just forgot to attune it while working here. We do all our attunement between bonfires, bonfire warps to save the time it takes, so it's easy to forget.
Marathon pressure, you know. It's my excuse.
And not really much to talk about in this boss, so if there's any donations...
Yeah, I'm just killing things.
Yeah, we do have donations. We've got some poetry coming in. Questionable poetry, but I will read it. An average beverage donates $1 saying, "Roses are red, violets are violet. It's in the name, so don't do Jeff Jump was seriously lame. Stennis is a plant and a place too red to gain." Yeah, I'm just as confused.
I mean,
Yeah,
I kind of
apparently I've
understood
been
what he
named
was getting
plant
at.
as the name, that's me, so I've been told. So somewhere there's a plant called Stennis.
Oh, really? Okay,
That is
maybe it
a
was
plant.
good. It was maybe good poetry then. And we've got Red with a $5 donation and some poetry too, saying, "Here is your poetry morale. When little Kata felt the urge to build suspense in an effort to make his runs feel more exciting, he said, 'Have I run on Reki's verge? And on Toki bumps I make errors. On DS2 boards my name I'll be writing. All achievements, mark my words. Will happen on this channel should I fail. Be sure to watch it. Are you keen?' The run came, the throw slightly distorts, and little Kata's face went pale, yet the promised run was never seen."
Damn, these guys good at poetry, eh?
Yeah, that's deep poetry.
Yeah,
Keep the poetry coming, y'all.
yeah. Literature class in here.
Alright, so the poor guy who gets parry walked like twice in every... Well, actually, he used to get parry walked twice in this category, but now luckily it's only...
Twice or
only
3
once.
times?
No, 3 times actually, you're right, because we would have to parry walk to Wellscott as well, because we don't grab the lever.
Okay, so what you'll see now for the rest of the run is I'll kill a boss. Well, I'll probably skip to a boss, kill it with Great Resonant Soul, go to the bonfire, press left once more than I pressed left the previous time in order to get the kind of next reverse boss bonfire, because I've got all the bonfires to the bosses now, most of them. And then go and kill it, and it's kind of like a bit of a mini boss rush at the end. Stennis recently helped me with this skip. I'm actually a little bit scared of this fight because he hits really hard.
Yeah. Luckily you don't have to fight him with a melee weapon, because that makes it even worse. He really glitches out if he moves his legs onto the... So we're fighting in on the ledge outside the arena, we can't actually go into the arena. And if his legs get up on the ledge here, then you can just get kicked into space. But still, he has a pretty long reach on the sword, and it does a lot of damage. You have to be very careful.
I don't know if you can explain, Stennis, if you know, why I can shoot through this wall, which I'm not allowed to walk through.
I'm not entirely sure, honestly. But I mean, seems like there's a lot of walls that don't actually block projectiles, or at least certain projectiles. For some reason, our spells don't hit. Our spells hit the statues here, but I think other his casts can go through and stuff.
Yeah, so Vendrick's sword can hit you here as well. And if he does like the long range jump attack, oh no, the jump attack or his dark, I don't know, dark throwing orb thing.
Yeah.
You can die here for sure, especially because I'm losing HP every time I cast. So if he hits me, I'm kind of dead.
At the very start, you could probably survive a hit, but at this point, anything kills. So yeah, this you saw the strat he was going for there all the time is that Vendrick's armor laying on the ground there. If you can get far enough away from him to try to run straight towards you, you can get him stuck on his own armor. Makes the fight quite a bit faster, because you don't have to move around and reposition all the time. And now we're parry-walking this guy again, because we haven't touched the lever to get the Velstadt, so the fastest way to go around this part is to go out of bounds again. So did a little jump outside the corridor there. It raises our height just enough that a full jump just barely doesn't touch the floor behind here. Because if we load in right in front of the fog gate, we can get hit by enemies and not be able to go through the fog gate. So yeah, we saw Alibaba's run of All Bosses No DLC yesterday. This is the exact same fight, but yeah, you just basically try to parry as much as possible, and not the earliest buff I've seen, but not you can get a no buff fight if you're really lucky.
Yeah, I couldn't parry that attack. It's the only one you can't parry, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's true. I appreciate going for the giant punch there. Luckily, you had
There's so little damage.
the awareness of going for the second one. I think I almost messed up the reverse boss order record because I did a punch on Ancient Dragon or something and started going for the warp out and then realized it wasn't dead. So, gotta be careful of that with giant punches.
We're now doing so yeah, there's actually still I always forget how many skips there are kind of after you've killed Nishandra and you're then clearing up.
Yeah.
I mean, you just saw me skip twice to Vendrick and Velstadt, you skip here to Frog, you skip to Mirror Knight. It's there's just a lot to learn. But it's a really, I think it's a really cool category.
Yeah. So at least from I guess from our point of view, spend a lot of time looking for the skips, and also like we have bunches of variations of them as well. Like for example, for Mirror Knight, I think I have 3 different ways of getting into this boss fight. From 3 different, no, actually maybe 4. But yeah, so the skips that are left are like, to me, they're pretty trivial. So even though there's a lot of parry walks and stuff left, it is pretty comfy to just go this fast between the boss fights, and
yeah,
feels
like
kind of like a boss
big
rush,
skip
even though there's skips in between.
Is like the only kind of one you might mess up is Dark Worker, I guess. Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, you can mess up like Bastille, but you're probably not going to. Oh, why am I doing no damage? Don't miss a shot.
No. Damage is normal. Or like you probably have less damage because it's far away.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I always forget in this route you do have to do an extra shot at the end. Okay, yeah. Fair warning about, audio status if you want to explain it.
Yeah. So there's a glitch on all patch, or a bug, I should say, that some sounds aren't related to the sound level you have in game. So I think Pseudo, you're probably playing with like a game volume of like 2 or 1.
I play super low. It's on 2.
Yeah. But Mirror Knight's Lightning is a 10. So it's going to be really loud if you have speakers on, or if you have loud headphones on. Yeah. You should lower your volume before this boss fight.
Or for the full experience, just prepare for an earthquake coming through your headset.
If you're prepared to take the risk, then enjoy the next fight coming up.
You do have to question how on earth this was left into the game. I mean, I don't know if there was any QA.
Yeah.
But it really is.
They probably did not have any
not acceptable.
Near the damage we have. So they probably had like 6 lightnings every time they fought this boss. So I don't know how they didn't notice.
Yeah, it's
the default game audio is at 5. It's not so. Yeah. Not sure how it slipped through the cracks.
I'm really struggling with this parry walk. Gotta get to the fight.
Yeah,
first.
this guy is like especially awkward when he's on the staircase.
Yeah. Let's jump here. I'm gonna heal up because this fight's actually one of the scarier ones, despite the fact I do a lot of damage. Just because you can hit his shield and he can hit you from range and he hits hard, and it's not like I'm not worried, but
yeah, and like ideally you want to hit him once when he does the lightning attacks, but there's one of the attacks you have to be pretty fast to run away, because we don't have much ADP. We really want to use distance to avoid some of the attacks.
Yeah, the undodgeable lightning attack.
Let's pray that we get a lightning attack to true experience.
I'm sure I can manipulate one if I have to. Should be coming up. There you go. Oh, there we go.
You can put the game at 10, yes, and use Windows volumes slider. As someone who's finished an all bosses no DLC run with lightning striking like 100 meters from my home, I can say that this fight is pretty realistic.
But yeah, for those who don't know, it doesn't matter like what game volume I'm playing on. If I'm playing on 10, it's just always that loud. For some reason on the old patch, it was patched to be fair to them. I don't know how.
It's...
I mean, we're playing on 1.02. Okay, so they definitely had at least one patch of it not being fixed, which is amusing. Okay, this fight's very easy, and there's some incredible magic RTO strats that I thought of yesterday, which is probably only just
running to the bonfire.
faster. Oh, it's dark worker. Okay. This is probably the scariest segment that's left.
I believe if you have audio on zero, I think it still does make a sound.
Yeah, I think it does. Yeah, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure it just blanket ignores whatever settings you've got.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's it's amusing.
Yeah, so this is also one of the scarier parts now. There's 3 guys that each one of them can absolutely destroy the run here if they want to. So we do need all of them to have decent RNG.
Yep, good start.
And the fight coming up is not great either.
And
Fingers
skip.
crossed.
So yeah, so two down. Rickard and Kill. Okay. Bad luck on the third one.
Two-handing? Yeah, he's two-handing. So if Havel two-hands as one of the more unique enemies in the game, you cannot parry it. You can parry Wellstat with the huge hammer, but this dude with a club is just too strong, man.
So
You
yeah,
also seemingly cannot survive a backstab from him. I've died at least 50 vigor.
Oh no, I think well, certainly in Gank Squad with a Bright Bug and 60 vigor you survive. If it's the same Havel, which I'm sure the game devs will tell you it's not, but
yeah, surely not.
oh, I didn't actually load the wait. I think that's just a visual thing. It probably was.
He probably
Loaded.
would be fine, yeah.
So here you can spawn, you can get out of bounds and die. I will try my best not for that not to happen. Okay, so now we're kind of like quote in bounds of kind of like the area, but we're not inside of the Dark Lurker fight, and we have to fall in through the roof.
Yeah, almost all the boss arenas, or like a very large amount of them, has this sort of invisible dome all around the arena. Luckily in this one we can sort of scale it from the side and slip in from the top. So that's what Suda's doing now. He's just running at an angle into the wall until he's far enough up and just either just falls down like he did there, or we have to run to a load trigger near the floodgate. So, but when dropping into the arena like this, usually the boss's AI doesn't start and they don't take damage until you actually go towards the floodgate and trigger the boss.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like nearby.
Hopefully Suda doesn't get too much of an early split here. Fireballs is not a great attack to get because we do have to walk around a bit and avoid them. So it's a bit of an early split here. And double laser, that's fun. It's not the worst combo, but it's one of the worst ones because you have to position yourself quite far away before you can attack.
Pretty smooth.
Yeah, very good fight. I think personally the worst combo to get in double Dark Lurker is like the fireball plus laser.
Yeah,
Because then
I
you
don't
avoid
like
the
that at
laser,
all.
but you can't start attacking yet because the fireballs are still coming. And
The fireballs from Dark Lurker, by the way, do an obscene amount of damage.
Yeah.
If you get hit by multiple, you're dead.
Yeah.
In all
Two
bosses,
of
you
them
can set a
quite
party
easily.
SR from full HP, which is a lot of HP, by getting hit by 2, and the third one is comfortably killing you. It's a lot of damage.
Can I read you a poem, Pseudo?
Yes, please do.
All right, so we got Apple B. Patios donating $5. Sorry if I butchered your name. There once was a runner called Pseudo who taught his character judo. He parried on night, then ran from the fight, and Perry walked halfway to Pluto.
Nice, I really like
That
that.
was it.
That's cute.
Yeah, I like that too. It was really nice.
Based on a true story.
Yeah. Exactly.
If you got any other donations, chat, feel free to donate. Remember to allocate your donation towards any of the incentives that we've got going throughout the marathon. The marathon is also going on until Sunday, so there's going to be plenty of content and lots of giveaway. I want to tease a giveaway that we're going to be doing, not right now, but in the future, that actually there's only 2,000 of them in the world. And we're giving one away here on the stream, and it's worth approximately like $700 if I am correct. I tried to research it before, and it was just, I don't think anyone is even selling, but I did find someone that was, and it was going for that. And we're giving it away for free, so definitely stay tuned. And it's free to join. You don't have to donate or anything like that. Of course, we appreciate all the donations. You guys have been amazing. $576,000 raised for Save the Children. Absolutely amazing. And yeah, just thank you.
Right, so as you saw, that boss Pseudo just did was pretty quick. Solo piece does instantly kill the rats in that fight, and as soon as you kill 10 of them, the main rat will spawn.
Yeah,
But Solo piece, like Scraps, is also kind of inconsistent at times, and it does happen that rats just walk through it without taking any damage. But luckily got a good fight.
Yeah, no memes. Did you see Ellie's, by the way, Samus? Like insanely late spawn in yesterday's round.
Yeah. I thought it was
funny.
yeah. When you get a like a single cycle kill, well, you kill like 10 rats at once. That always happens, but it did
Yeah.
it in double cycle, and
Yeah,
it
it was
still
a
happened.
two-cycle,
So I
yeah.
was not sure why. But yeah, there's inconsistency with even how fast the boss arrives in the arena.
You'll find, for anyone who hasn't run Old Patch, it's really tough to get very good times, just because, especially on like longer categories, you can learn parry walks fairly often, but you're gonna miss them over the course of such a long run when you're doing so many. So there, I just lost probably 30 seconds or so. It's just kind of got to keep going and
And
try
even
your
with
best not
that-
to get tilted.
Yeah, even with that, some skips are like 1 or 2 minutes long, and you just hit like a wrong pixel somewhere, and
Yeah.
suddenly you load in, and you have to go back and do it all over again. You will probably experience that for a while until you really get to learn the boundaries of the skips. But yeah,
I mean, you saw me fail Dragon Rider skip pretty bad earlier. That's one that you don't do very often, to be fair. It's only in RBO, so I don't know the boundaries like as well there, for example.
We've got an awesome poem if
Okay.
you're down.
Yeah, let's go.
Fish McCool donated $5. Thank you so much, Fish McCool. And the poem is: Invaders are red, sentinels are blue. Nashandra is dead, but she's still my waifu.
Nice.
Keep them coming, chat. I will read all of your poems and donations.
It's quite comfy. Just killing some bosses, listening to some poems.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Yeah.
And we're super close to 3,600 raised. We're just, oh my god, math, oh man. $19 away? Oh gosh. I'm really bad at math. Don't judge me, please.
That's correct.
Okay.
Nailed
Yay.
it.
Yeah. And before poems about my bad math. Oh, please, no math jokes.
Right, so after Pseudo killed Freya, we have to go back and do Congregation. It was in between.
I was wondering if
This
there's a better
also-
skip here, Stannis. Like, if you can
Uh,
come in through the side of the window, maybe? I mean, I don't think there is, but
Oh, you mean
it
to
feels...
enter the Congregation fight?
Yeah, rather than kind of... Because we have to open doors, and opening doors is slow, guys, so...
Yeah.
If we can avoid that at any
tried to
cost.
Jump, I think I've tried to jump into the windows, but I think they
Don't
have
do
to
that.
collision all the way through. If there was actually, I think one idea which could be interesting is literally just thought of it, but if you do the other skip to go behind the arena here on the way
Yeah.
to Freya and ladder warp into
Yeah,
the
so
room.
I think it's possible. I remember messing around with it. This is on-the-fly routing of RBO. This is how RBO
Yeah.
develops. You
This
just
is how we conceive skips in this game, basically, at
You
this
just-
point.
do skips and then think, maybe I can make this, because you've got so much freedom about your in old patch, so much freedom about where and how you get to places, with the exception of like Nashka skip, where there's unfortunately no enemies you can parry in that whole area. Pretty much any enemy you can, any area you can be quite inventive, which is cool.
Yeah, that's why, for example, the ladder warping was so revolutionary for this run, because
Yeah.
basically after we found the one for Skeleton Lords, I just went around and thought of every ladder I could in the game. I was like, can I use this one?
And there's some really dodgy
And,
mechanics as well, if you like fall off the bottom of them or the top or something, Stannis.
Yeah. If you're below the ground, once you grab, when you grab the ladder, your starting height will be below the starting point of the ladder, and I think they've coded it so that they just check where you are inside the bottom and top of the ladder. So you can just climb downwards forever, because it never sees that you're at the 0 point of the ladder, I guess. Unfortunately, we haven't found the opposite of that, to be able to grab a ladder from above it, because if we did, maybe we could be able to scale the ladder infinitely, which would
Yeah. Be a
really
lot better
useful.
than jumping 160 times, yeah. Nashka.
And
Sniping
finally, we're
percent.
back to Najka,
Yeah.
the boss
so-
that causes so much grief for this category,
So,
because we do have to skip her.
it's so unfortunate that there's not a better way of doing the Nashka skip.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many enemies in any area related to this, and you just can't get any of them. These guys are
Yeah.
unparryable. Gandalf you can't parry because he's in a wheelchair.
You
Then-
can parry the what's the bird called again? Bird
Ornifex.
Ornifex.
but you can't
can
riposte
parry
her.
Ornifex. Can't riposte her. She just lies on the ground and she never gets back up unless you punch her. So that was that idea in the drain.
Yeah, it's just a series of unfortunate events. Oh, this is a good fight.
One tail carrot.
Nice little fight.
Nice. Yeah, so
Um,
getting double tail carrot at the start here is really nice, because you keep it just unlocked for a little while.
And then like
so
Creighton,
that
who should move here, moves to a different place.
Yeah.
So he unloads, whereas in Scholar it would work, but you can't parry walk in Scholar. It's just
Yeah.
it's just everything's very unfortunate. and
In vanilla, he just goes to like down by the crossroads bonfire and it's too far away. So.
but if anyone's
Unfortunately,
feeling
this place just
if
Yeah.
anyone's feeling inventive, I still really don't like Nashka skips, so you know, I would
Yeah.
welcome some. Oh, I have it.
even if they had just given us an invasion in that area, that could have made for a much better skip.
Yeah.
We unfortunately don't really. I don't think. Yeah. We used to have skips that involved parrying invaders, and some of them were pretty difficult to parry at times. But all of them have been replaced at this point with faster versions of skips.
Yeah. It's just a slowly developing cycle. How to break the game more and more, and I'm sure next year
Yeah.
someone will be running it with a new version of something. But, oh, too early.
Yeah, I don't actually have to cancel that one.
No,
There's
I
grounds
just
just in
I
front
don't
of
really
you.
know why I did.
Yeah, luckily since we have range damage, we can attack this boss before he arrives. I bet that's one of the most painful things playing current patch, just waiting for him to arrive. That's actually a pretty tactical.
Yeah, that's odd.
Really nice one though. Oh no, morale. I will mention though, since morale is trying to incite the donation bid wars here, me and Pseudo will be running up against each other in the relay race.
Oh my god,
Me for
really?
Team Soul Guy and Pseudo for Team Soul Doge.
Oh
So
my goodness.
one of us will have to do the Dark Souls 2 any percent run without using a shield, which means dagger parries for the entire run, and we have to block Throne Duo with the Dragon Tooth. So if you want one of us to have extra pain, please donate towards that.
Also, I'd
Yes.
like to say that Stennis is the world record holder and therefore has a huge advantage.
Oh, no.
And
No,
you know,
no inside information.
He's throwing Stennis under the bus. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you heard them. And if you don't know how to allocate your donations towards something, it's quite easy. So when you go to the tracker and to the donate page, once you've put in the amount that you want to donate, you can press the incentive in the list of incentives, and you can choose to under it, you can choose to allocate a certain amount of your donation towards that incentive. And if you want to donate towards 2 incentives, you can just press the add another button, and you'll be able to donate any other amount that you've got remaining towards any of the incentives. And we got a Bloodborne run coming up, and if you want to force the runners to fight Ludwig without buffing and on blood level 4, definitely consider putting your donations towards that.
is the Bloodborne run straight after this? By the way,
It's not straight after this, it's
soon after.
it's like, yeah, it's very soon after. So it's about 1 a.m. CEST. So in about a couple of hours. God, I don't know how to do math. I'm so sorry. It's in a couple of
2.5
hours.
hours or so. Yeah. If I am
Sure.
CST now, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
Daylight savings messes up my my reference point here.
To make it easy, there's going to be a Dark Souls 3 any percent no teardrop run after this, and then we're going to have a Prince of Persia Sands of Time run, and after that we've got Bloodborne. So definitely donate towards that incentive if you want to reach it. And that's it's a 4-way race: Peanut versus Ivan versus Impactful Forest versus D Planet.
Right, so for those who were scared, no, we were not doing 150 jumps here again. Luckily, it's only like between 20 and 30. The Pseudo went a bit over to be safe, but that gives the advantage that you can actually...
I didn't know.
no.
I didn't know you could spawn on.
That was a
whatever that-
disadvantage.
Ah, that's
Yeah.
unfortunate. So I was exactly at the right height of apparently a beam that wasn't either the higher beam or the lower beam. That you also has collision, even though you're never allowed to step on it. So, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, so,
that's one I didn't know. That's unfortunately a new one to learn. You can't as many times you do these
That's,
skips. It's
Perfect
there's always-
example of what we were saying, that there's always like one little detail you don't know that can mess up a skip because you're just slightly outside of your comfort zone. Yeah, he could have been able to jump over that fence if he jumped from further away, but unfortunately he touched the collision before that and loaded in. And now there's 2 guys here. The other guy is the one sitting right next to the ladder. He doesn't always aggro.
No, he's not normally here, to be honest. I could be dead here. Okay. So I think this actually is the last skip of the run.
Yeah, it could
No,
be.
chariot.
Yeah,
Yes,
Chariots
sure.
is a very small skip.
But
but,
yeah,
yeah.
This is the last big one. I didn't actually practice this one much because it's not normally very bad. But there we
No.
go. Take 3.
We're doing good on the parry walk, so we have faith.
Well, I was, and then... Okay, let's try it again. Bit of a shame I died first time.
Yeah, he had basically had to skip down and
Yeah,
failed
just
right
had
at
to...
the end, so it is unfortunate. So again, doing a few jumps here just to increase his height. Unfortunately, we have to do a full jump to get down into the spot, which means we have to do extra jumps to recover all the height we lost. But unfortunately, we don't really have another spot here that can get us the jumps to the height we need.
Very unfortunate.
Oh yeah, so he
That's the
also
last jump
started-
as well.
He started falling there at the end, which means he has to do now extra jumps again to recover that height. As well.
Yeah, you lose... I don't know how... Is it 5 jumps you lose when that happens to us?
Yeah, it's like
Something like
around
that.
there.
I'm also at an awkward height here as well.
Yeah, you can if you
Okay.
want just do a jump immediately and go in from the bottom.
Yeah,
floor
play it
there.
safe. So that's probably what I should have done the first time, but there's some weird mechanics in what actually causes you to load in this game. So sometimes running into walls is actually perfectly safe in parry walk, a lot of the time.
Yeah, I think
So
what
I
does
just
it
didn't
here,
know
so-
that was kind of like a non-safe one.
Yeah, so the general rule is they have to go upwards some kind of slope, not go too much into details of why we think that is, because we haven't actually proved why or figured out seeing parts of the code. But yeah, so I think why pseudo loaded in on the fence there is because these walls have like a little bit of a slope leaning into them, so touching that will load you in. So Mytha is also a pretty scary fight in this because we both take damage from the poison, and every shot we do does a little bit of damage to ourselves, and the casts are not nearly as fast as, for example, a rapier, so we do leave ourselves quite a lot more vulnerable to, for example, a charge attack. But the damage is very good, so usually it goes fine. So this is strangely also one of the newest additions of skips to this game. Somehow we didn't realize for several years that we could just drop down the ledge and go to...
Yeah, so we used to
Jabba from
skip
above.
back here again from Poison Pool,
Yeah.
which, I mean, it's probably only 15 seconds. Still
yeah,
good.
but for all the thinking outside the box, we can miss the simplest things sometimes. So that's Java, pretty hard fight. Close one.
And here was me thinking I was done with skips. 2 more.
Right, but still.
Yeah, they're still here. But these ones are kind of like, they're not too bad at all.
Also, if you've done all bosses no DLC, basically at this point most of the skips are the same as there. So
Yeah.
I think Pseudo as well is more comfortable with the skips that are left
Oh
now
yeah,
than
like
some of the others.
the Jabba one. I've done it a lot fewer times in total. And these ones, like the boundaries are super lenient.
Yeah, basically
It's
at
pretty
least with
tough to fail
the
these.
Yeah, so Skeleton Lords is also pretty simple, and the different one we have for Chariot now is also much
it's
less
it's so
risky
much
than the old
better.
one.
Yeah, it's so much easier and so much more reliable. And I assume it's faster, and it's not.
Yeah, it's like a second faster. It's not very much, but
Yeah.
since it's easier, there's no reason to not do it. Yeah, here is very nice to do this fight with scraps, since there's a lot of skeletons spawning every time you kill one of the main ones here. Usually we would save the middle one for last, but with scraps you can just put out a lot of damage all around the place, and we don't really have to worry much about bone wheels running around. Basically just go in and spam R1.
It's not doing a very good job here, Thomas.
Yeah, so the thing is, Scraps is not always consistent, but I mean, hey, it's faster.
Yeah. Sometimes you can get them all to just run straight at you and hit a pillar. Sometimes Scraps just misses and there's 6 enemies left at the end.
Yeah, so that one pseudo had there is pretty unlucky. You could theoretically just kill everyone with like the first few Scraps casts there, but usually doesn't happen. I don't really know how they programmed that cast, honestly, because it's so unreliable. Yeah, you could hit him with Solar Beast, which has the exact same problem as Scraps, basically.
They don't take damage to Solar Bees though, because
Yeah.
Dark Souls 2 is a game, dude.
Yeah, I don't know quite the rules for that, because I think it says it's like undead.
Yeah, Skellies are apparently not undead, according to them.
But rats are, clearly.
Yeah, the rats are, yeah. There's a lot of arbitrary rules in this game that may not be intuitive.
Yeah.
Okay,
So this is also like one of the bit more technical fights.
Yeah.
You do need some pretty clean boosts here to avoid having Chariot run and just a circle around the arena. You really have to like dash it to the lever. Fortunately, the pseudo got hit here, so we'll have to do a second run for it.
Yeah, you also don't
there's
have
a
that
bunch
much
of skeletons in the way.
ADP.
No. Yeah, you really have to time it perfectly on the boost.
And you're kind of going around a corner and you're doing it whilst trying to throw. I mean, I'm just making excuses, but it is
Yeah.
more difficult than it looks this time.
And the controller just disconnects. And
Yeah. There's lightning outside.
completely out of his control. But yeah, again, even though it's a boss with deals dark damage himself, Dark does a lot of damage to him still.
Yeah, it's so strong on old patch.
It's kind of interesting in a way, because we used to, for example, in all bosses no DLC, we used to do Dark Lurker early, using Lightning Spear, because he is pretty dark resistant. But nowadays we just max out our dark damage and then just use dark regardless, because it just takes too much time to level up any other source of damage.
It's
compared
not
to-
as flare as it used to be, killing things with like
Yeah.
lightning spear and stuff, but it's just so effective that it doesn't really matter. You didn't even take that much many more casts using GRS versus.
No, like the +10 GRS is
Yeah.
pretty similar to what we did with like a Pro +3 lightning with Lightning Spear before or something. But the skip itself is so much easier when you can kill the enemies.
It's nice to land this one first try.
Yeah.
It's
If you don't get the first parry, then it can spiral out of control. If you have some,
it's
attacks
not
that are
that
really
bad.
similar.
It's just if it goes right
Yeah.
the first time, it's just so much more comfy. Oh, I guess I could dive to this elevator. That's one scary part
Yeah.
left.
Yeah, you can definitely get headshot here and just limbo off the elevator. That is something that's happened to every DS2 runner, I think, at some point, probably multiple times as well.
Never in doubt.
And there it is, but luckily not close enough to the
I don't know
left.
how they hit me from that side.
Yeah.
To be honest, but as
It's
long as you
usually not that
survive.
guy who hits you.
No. So I kind of stood backwards so that I could expect the one from behind to stagger me forwards into the elevator, but how it came from the side somehow.
I'm glad
That's
I didn't
fine.
commentator curse that too bad.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried.
Right, so this fight can also be really fast if you get a good start here. Yeah, she was a bit too fast, unfortunately, there.
Yeah.
But with a good attack in the opener, you can just trade on the second hit, and with a
Yeah.
counter hit as well, I think you can kill her in like 3 hits.
I only managed to get one
Really
hit,
good fight though.
before. Yeah, I only managed to get one hit before she was in my face there. Whereas sometimes you can get two if she opens a bit more slowly.
And then the final boss in this area, we also have to skip to. But yeah, I think the Guardian fight is pretty cool in this category, because we really make use of scraps to deal a lot of damage, where other categories would really not do much in the fight. So it's really fast on old patch. Especially since we can take advantage of the fact that scraps can hit multiple enemies at once. And all the gargoyles just follow you, immediately.
Yeah, this really speeds up the fight a lot, actually. Yeah.
This is sort of the scary part to cast on the second gargoyle, but it does a lot of damage for the hits you potentially take from getting out, so it's very worth going for. I even killed one of the gargoyles there.
It doesn't let you lock on until the gargoyle is fully spawned there, so...
Yeah, and they also take reduced damage before you're able to lock on, so it's worth going for a hit if there's no other enemies, but otherwise you just wait for them to be ready to take full damage.
Please don't laugh at my bad
decent fight.
Sentinels fight, Stennis. I can't do this fight to save my life.
Come on, I believe in the sniper aim here.
It's so easy, and I just can't do it. I just always lose 10 seconds here against a good fight. Conceptually, you just go in, you 3GRS all three of them, and that's it. You just aim through the binos and hit them, but for some reason I just mental block, placebo error here.
At least like the last one is kind of far away and is moving sideways, so without like a reticule or something in the middle of the screen.
Yeah.
It is kind of difficult. You also have to lead your shots because GRS is very slow through the air. First one sometimes will attack really fast and can hit you at start and get a clean kill there. So yeah, here you can see how slow the scraps are, and they're so big as well, so they can hit everything on the way.
Okay, I mean, it was bad, but it was... I only missed 3 this time.
Right. I think now is probably a good point for donations, if there's are any.
Yes, we do have 2 donations. So one from Anonymous that put us at a very even amount, $3,600. And thank you, Anonymous, so much. The message is free hat, free hat, free hat.
Nice. My Sinner split was gold. I've had 4 golds this one: Sinner, Jabber, Dragon Rider, Skip, and something else. Which isn't saying much. I don't run this category too often. But it's there's been a few okay splits.
We do have one more donation. Oh, sorry, Stennis.
No, I was just gonna say, like, this category, like, the record is terribly optimized. I think I was like minus 9 minutes or something when I got the record. So, like, you can squeeze more time out of this for sure.
Yeah, crack on.
So we have an average beverage with $1 donation saying, "Can I get Pseudo to say dang once or twice for the boys? Great work, Stennis and Pseudo. A lot of fun to watch. Thank you."
Sure. I kind of want to react to a true dang moment, but
you can save it for the very end.
I could go for the super fast flex arrow kill. Yeah, and then when he survives with 1 HP.
When it doesn't work, because it will not work.
Yeah. I realize this actually isn't the way you meant to do this area. But I wasn't thinking. With Binder Boost, you can just run through here. I just lost like 5 seconds, but it's so fast to kind of bind him all the way around the area that you kind of. You don't need to just do any of these skips that you can do in current patch or anything.
Yeah, what you normally do is you just shoot the bell from all the way down at the bottom, where you can't really see it at all, and just bind a bit through the area, and you still make it before the ship arrives.
Yeah, but we're gonna go for the 3-shot kill. You actually can get it, by the way. I think it's like 10%.
Yeah, you can get it, but I never get it correct. Like, you need to have like walk up to you at the start. If it does a jump attack, I don't think you can do it with this cost speed. But
Dang.
See.
We tried.
Yeah.
Nice.
Exactly what I meant. It only saves like, what is it, like a second and a half or something if you get it.
Yeah. You should definitely just move slightly to the right and just kill him rather than go for that. But it's you gotta go for these things sometimes. But yeah, this cleanup, as you can see, is pretty easy. We're now on the very first bosses of the game with a completely late game build that's also been nerfed. So you can just do whatever you want around here. It's good fun.
Now only the 3 normally first bosses you do left after this one.
Yeah.
4 total.
A lot of waiting for things to spawn so you can pull a lever to wait for a bridge.
Especially the very last boss we do is, yeah, you'll see.
Yeah.
It's not that much of a challenge. But this boss is also pretty cool with GRS because he walks pretty slow at the start, and also if you're quick enough you can strafe that attack, but it's kind of hard to do.
Yeah, that's quite tight.
We just barely survived this attack, but
Oh.
he doesn't have super armor because then you have to watch your.
Oh, did the third one get hyper armor?
No, that was not the hyper armor attack. I think he still needed a hit.
Is it 5 hits? Sorry, I assumed it was 4 hits, and instead of looking at his health bar, just did 4 hits. Which apparently wasn't enough.
I'm pretty sure you hit him after the super armor, but I didn't really watch his health.
So that's a pretty poor death, but it's fine, like, because the thing's already down, it's only 20 seconds to run.
Yeah, you don't have to bring the bridge down again, so you can just run back.
Like,
You
old
do have
patch
to pick up your
deaths...
souls again, though.
Yeah, that's fine. Old patch deaths are much worse when you have to parry walk to get to the boss. In this case, yeah, binder boost just makes short work of...
Revi is saying third hit was super armored, so I guess you just hit him barely before the super armor stopped.
Oh, that makes me feel much better about myself, thanks. Yeah, so that's 2 hits, 3 hits, 4 hits. I mean, it's clearly my fault for not actually looking, but say it. No. Dung. Dude, dung pie is good here. Should have had the dung. So yeah, so I feel like I've redeemed myself for dying to one of the easiest bosses in the game after saying how good of a build we have for early game bosses. But there we go.
To be fair, like, we haven't really spec much into health, and the only reason you have levels in health is not really for the bosses, but
Yeah,
for
it's the
skips.
damage. So we fight Pursuer here on the platform, which does count, because you get the soul. Just so that, because otherwise you'd have to skip this door by Last Giant, which is kind of annoying.
Yeah.
And if you mess this up, say you died here, for example, then you would have to do another skip, which is really slow. So I will try actually not to die this time. The other fights are not really paying too much attention, but
Yeah, the worst thing I've done here with the race with Nubis was I did the last shot, locked off and jumped off the platform, and somehow he did not die.
And they despawn himself.
Strafed the DRS. Yeah, and despawns, and I had to do the skip to finish the run. Yeah, clean fight there. And last dash to Last Giant, then we'll go back to the throne room and finish off the game.
I will oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I will quickly remind everyone that you are watching Speed Soul's charity marathon. We have raised $3,600 so far, and we're so grateful for your support. If you're not able to donate, you can always share the stream with your friends and family, and you can also like or retweet any of our tweets. It helps a lot in helping us reach a broader audience and eventually to help save more kids. I want to also say thank you to all the runners who are giving their time to showcase all these runs and races for a good cause. And of course, last but not least, all of the organizers that are coming together to make this happen every year. If you haven't seen it yet, definitely go check out our merch. We've got a limited edition artwork made by John Devlin specifically for Speed Soul's charity marathon that you can get on Designed by Humans. So definitely check that out. And last but not least, join the Gleam giveaway. We're giving away 12-month Game Pass PC Xbox passes, and they're worth about like $100. Sorry, I muted myself. $100 or something, I think. So it's free to join. Definitely make use of all the giveaways that we're going to be giving away throughout the marathon. And this will keep on happening until Sunday. So stay tuned, and back to you guys.
Yeah, so after Last Giant was killed in 2 hits, now we're just running back the victory road, and as we enter the arena, no one is here. So we can just go to the end and
Claim our throne.
everything.
And that's
Yeah.
time. A little bit over, but we made it through.
Yeah. It is the risk running a category like this. Every mistake is often minutes
Yeah.
rather than seconds. So, but I hope you enjoyed, guys. I definitely I probably enjoy watching this more than running, but it's still a pretty fun run to run as well. Someone
Thanks
has to do it for someone to watch, you know.
Yeah.
It was
Cheers.
awesome, and I think we did raise a lot of money, and especially there were donations coming in saying that this was their favorite category and runner. So thank you so much, Pseudo, and thank you, Stennis, for coming in and supporting with commentary too. You guys were awesome. Even if it went over estimate, I think it was great.
Cool. Yeah, thanks everyone. And thanks for commentating, Stennis. I really appreciate that. And I guess we'll both be back together on Sunday, where you can see Stennis beat me in any percent as well. Yeah.
Luckily, you have some teammates, Pseudo, so
Exactly. Yeah.
let's try to get some backup.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you've got the donation incentive too, right? Where it makes it harder for one of you
Yeah, so
against each
Pseudo's
other.
gonna have a tough time with that dagger for the whole run. So good luck on that, Pseudo.
Yeah.
I like how you're predicting like what it's gonna be.
Great sovereign.
But yeah, thank you again. Like, Pseudo, do you want to give any shout outs to any of your channels or?
I mean, no, I think anyone who has watched, I really appreciate it. On the marathon, and I hope you have a great weekend watching the rest of the runs. I know I'm going to be chilling after getting through this one and just kind of enjoying what's left. But yeah, keep donating, guys, and yeah, have a great weekend.
Thank you, and thank you both for also displaying your wonderful English accents. That was awesome. You guys are good sports. I appreciate it. All right, and that was it. That was Dark Souls 2 Reverse Boss Order by Pseudo, Stripy, and co-commentator Stennis. I hope you all enjoyed. Next up, we actually have, oh my gosh, Prince of, no, I'm just kidding. It's Dark Souls 3. It's Dark Souls 3, any percent, no teardrop. And after that, we've got Prince of Persia, Sands of Time, no major glitches. So definitely stay tuned. This is my last hosting shift until the relay race, where I will be hosting with Wolfie. So thank you all for donating all these generous donations, poetry, jokes, I don't even know what, the extremely swaggy uwu memes. It's very much appreciated, and it goes to a great cause. It's been a pleasure to be here with you all, and I hope that I have not disappointed you all with my presence and that you've enjoyed the marathon so far. And I can't wait to see you all during the relay. I'm gonna hand it off to Ashwin. You are in really good hands with Ashwin. She's an amazing host. So I hope you enjoy the rest of this evening and the rest of the marathon. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Peace out, take care, and
Peace
drink
out.
a lot of water.